Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor Idowu. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for really having me around. It's really a great pleasure. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, sir. So my guest today is Idowu Victor, or Victor Idowu, whichever you prefer, but his first name is Victor. And it's no surprise we are inviting him here because one way or another, he's going to tell us his secrets. Hopefully today, he has been victorious on this matter of finance. Start, Victor, I don't know, maybe you could just give us a more, elaborate introduction of yourself so that our audience today, I believe quite a few number of persons are already joining us, watching and enjoying this conversation already. But I know many people really want to know who is this handsome man I'm bringing, handsome young man. And please tell us that you are married so that we'll be on the same ground. Right, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Mr. John Olafisoye. You're really a wonderful person. You've motivated me quite a lot of time. We've known each other for quite a while now, so it's really a great pleasure. You're my Oga, Remis Oga. So, my name once again is Victor Idowu, and I'm married as a way of introduction. In terms of my profile, I would say that I'm the principal designer, just like you said, and also the CEO for Vicent Group of Companies. That's the end result. But for now, we're titled Vicent Hub. So my goal is that it's going to be a group of companies with a lot of subsidiaries. So Vicent Hub, usually we focus on designing website graphics, video animation, and quite a lot of things regarding the online, as well as writing too. About me, so far so good. I think my journey has quite been very interesting and as well somewhat rough. I feel the reason why I need to talk about my story and the background to where I am right now, and of course, the things I'm doing right now that is really going to set the pace for where I'm going, so that we can be able to progress and stay healthy. So many of us that are on the group, on this live show, may be well to do, of course, like you're already doing well, whatever you're doing. Some of us are already making money from whatever we're doing currently, which is very fine. But some are still like in the belief of 50%, 60, 70, are still in the process of trying to find a balance on getting this financial freedom we're talking about. So in a very brief way, I would say that who is someone who was very passionate about living an independence life. That was one of the things that kind of set me on the course. Ever since I was very young, I wanted to do things on my own. I wanted to live on my own. I don't know why, but maybe experientially, looking at some people, I've seen how the fact that they've depended on their parent and now they were being shortchanged at the end of the day. At least I've heard about the story of a core member that was coming back home, someone that has been nurtured for over many years, maybe over 20 years, thereabout. As this guy was coming home, his dad called him and told him, don't come back home, go and look for a job. So I didn't want to have that kind of rough landing whereby I'm starting from zero and I need to build something all of a sudden within space of little time. So that taught me a lesson that I really need to build my foundation of independence as quick as possible. That was not possible before I entered school because just like every African parent, go and read your book, go and learn, go and do this. At that time it was go and do your WAEC. After I finished WAEC, they said go and do your JAMB. After I finished JAMB, do post JAMB. Enter school. What again? I even have the 100 level. So it was all that motion. And that's why I do tell youths and many people that really have the opportunity that break off yourself from the wings of African parents' culture. Break off from that wing as fast as you can. Why is because you will begin to learn how to fly as fast as you can. That's how eagles raise its children. Eagle will take up an eaglet from a very great height, throw him down. He's wanting him to learn how to fly. Then he will pick him up again, throw him down. And over time, such kind of baby, those kind of eaglets, masters the act of flying through risk. But Nigerian parents will just throw down an eaglet and will not mind if the eaglet will crash land or not. They won't pick him up again. So there's a default system and you need to fight yourself away from it. So that was what even led me to, even after I finished first degree, I stayed back in school. I was like, I can't go back home and start doing every other thing that my homemakes will be doing, going back home eating gari abandodo. I was like, no. There needs to be a change because I look at myself, nothing, no skill that could really make money. So this passion was the one led me by said, let me go and volunteer. Don't forget, begin to know some of these things in my track records. Let me volunteer. And I was volunteering for a company over there in Akure called Zaprak. It was in the course of that, I don't want to say a lot of stories. It was in the course of that I got to know about a service, learned about a service that I'm working with, right? Was it very smooth? No. The journey was very rough. I go hungry many times. Today I can be thinking of what I'll eat second day, third day, fourth day. While in today, because today I'm drinking gari, I don't know what I'll eat next tomorrow. So it was just living on pennies. That was how the journey was then. But I told myself I'm not going to go back home. So why? Because it is in pressure that you grab opportunity. People don't grab opportunity in comfort. People don't grab opportunity when you are convenient. But I know that next 2 or 3 months is uncertain. It's uncertain for me. So this time, any opportunity that comes around me, I grab it. So that was the condition of what happened then. That led me into website design. Started learning. It was 9 class upon 9 class. Staying, learning, and all of that. I was like, I must make money. And the funny story was the fact that my learning was so fast because of hunger. Sorry to say this, Yoruba. If you eat when hunger wire, you know go get choice. So I learned a skill that could take 6 months in about a month. In one and a half months, I started earning from that particular skill. And you see how amazing hunger can be a wonderful lesson. So of the rest was just stories of having to learn how I can now diversify my income, going to several other things to learn from. Also how to manage my wealth, which I feel will share more about it today. So that's the little glimpse of my story, and I feel you can pick a lot of lessons from it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And I'm really happy that you've actually delved into the first discussion we want to go into. And but to just start with something enjoyable, especially for our audience, I want us to quickly play a game, right? I want you to tell us we want to play a game called 2 Truths and a Lie. 2 truths and a lie. So you will tell us 3 things about yourself. 2 of those things will be the truths, and 1 of them will be a lie. 2 truths and a lie. So tell us 3 things about yourself. 2 of them will be, obviously there are quite a number of Nigerians here, so you should make it a little bit difficult. And then the first answer, I'm going to check the time. The first answer, whether on Facebook or YouTube, will definitely get a gift from the first correct answer. Don't let me say first answer. The first correct answer will definitely get a gift from Life Clinic podcast. So over to you, Victor.
Okay, well, 2 truths and 1 lie. The 3 points are: I am based in Ibadan. 3 points: I am single, and I am a first degree graduate, bachelor's degree. So those are the 3 truths and 3 lies.
All right. So if you get it correctly, please put it on the comment box. Which of these 3 things, 2 of them are true, and 1 of them is a lie. All right. Thank you so much, Victor. So I want us to forge ahead now, Victor. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction you're giving to us. And just like I said, you've taking us through your experience of money, right? How you started your journey. And one of the interesting things about conversations like this is that people tend to see the glory, and they do not learn from the story. And it is behind the story that we can get the true value. Right. So I want you to just, again, maybe briefly, I know you've mentioned it, but again, I want you to just talk about exactly or lessons. Let me make it more personal now. Lessons that you learned at the beginning of your journey towards financial freedom.
Well, there are quite numbers of lessons. Maybe I can talk about notable ones that changed my life. The first I will put is doggedness, and commitment. There's nothing in life that you want to change without these attributes: doggedness and commitment. There are things, let me say, for instance, what helped me in this phase of life, that's 2020, was the fact that I burnt the bridge behind me so that I can stay commitment to a cause. What is the cause? Financial freedom. You need a skill that will make money for you. And so that helped me in knowing that it's either I die or I get this thing once and for all. Commitment, doggedness. There were temptations to wanting to go back home, honestly. But I told myself I'm not going to do that. Why? I want to stay and learn amidst hunger, amidst several depressive situations. To tell the stories, I had to move to several friends' house, almost about 4 different persons within 6 months period. Let me use the word squatting. I left first degree with a notable kind of stigma, or how would I put it, popularity. So yet I had to break that thing down. That's still the same environment that has to still come around. People will be asking me questions: what are you doing in Akure? Many people will tell me, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm not saying Akure is where the good is. But you need to look in deep that where is going to be your thriving environment. Based on your experience, you can be able to see where is going to be my thriving environment. So I saw that Akure is one of the places. Of course, that was based on intuition though. So at the time, I struggled with it. But that was fundamentally what led me to say, let me come back to Akure, apart from other things like learning skills, relationship-wise, and every other thing, relationship-wise, exactly. So, the doggedness was one of the first things I kind of really learned that led to that transition. Number 2 was understanding the value of what I'm doing. Now that I have the skill, now that I have the service, I now begin to sit down. At the time, what led me here? It was that I was rendering values to people and the monetary reward was not very much. Example, CV writing. I was doing that 1,000 naira, 500 naira for people, and people will still be almost telling me to do it for free. But when I began to write for people outside the country and I was seeing the comment of what they were giving me back, the feedbacks were almost 5 stars and all of that, I told myself, if white people can appreciate what I'm doing, then people should be able to pay more for what I'm servicing them in Nigeria. So I almost, from 500, 1,000, I multiplied by 5 at that time, 5,000 naira for just a CV, and I can finish that in an hour. Later on, I was like, oh, I need to change something. I increased it to 15,000. Now it's ranging for 15 to 20,000 naira for just a document. Of course, there's a lot of intellectual. But what led me to that point? I sat down, I asked myself, what is my service doing to people? I discovered that writing a CV could help somebody get a job that can pay him ₦1 million. And this is just a one-time payment. I'm giving this example so that you can begin to analyze your business. You can interpolate this idea into whatever business you're doing. Either you're into fashion, either you're into teaching, either you're into lecturing, either you're into anything. In fact, this great man, Dr. Miles Morrow, he said he was undercharging himself until somebody called him and they were conversing. And this person said, I'm not as good as you are. Honestly speaking, he was telling Dr. Miles Morrow, and I charge about $5,000 for just 1 hour. So that changed Miles Morrow's thought and he began to charge much more. So you need to understand the value of what you're giving out, and that will help you to price. So this shaped my finances. So I that was charging a little amount before, I began to double it and people are still able to afford it. So number 3, it also taught me to know who am I going to be serving. So I began to streamline my audience. I told myself I can't serve everybody. So if you don't know my worth, I can't serve you. You understand? I began to watch a lot of videos that could really help me in understanding how to charge, how to make much more money. I began to read books that really helps me on how to save and manage wealth. So these are a few steps. Number 1, like I said, be ready to go under a mentor, like I did. Be ready to volunteer. Number 3, understand your value. Understand what you're doing, what service, what problem are you solving. Understand very well. Analyze it. I tell people, they come to me, I will tell you, write 20 things that your service can solve. By the time you do that, you are helping your thoughts mind to think that you don't need to beg people to pay for your service. And people you should not. There's a way you can charge. If I charge you for what I'm doing right now, I can begin to feel like, oh, I'm not overcharging. Why? Mindset. If I tell you that I'm going to charge you $100,000 for this call, I can, because I understand the value of what I'm doing. But somebody can charge $100,000 and you feel like, hey, you'll be scared. I've talked to somebody that made the price one time and the person was like, I saw you scratching your head. That's true that you are overcharging me. So there's a way that is going to be expressional. So you need to bring your mindset to a state where you understand that you are not doing people a favor. I mean, they are not doing you a favor, but you are doing them much more favor. And quite a number of things like that. So these are the few stages in my life that shifted me to begin to increase myself in this journey of growth. And I feel if you begin to apply some of these methods, it will really help you.